Good evening, SCHUCO and Tin Toy fans. This is the Tin Meister, and today we're going to look at the fantastic SCHUCO Radiant 5600 airliner. And it was built from about 1957 to 1968. That's only 11 years. And we're not only going to look at the original one, which I'm showing here, but also the replica. And also we're going to take one apart, so stay tuned. So this is an original box, although the original box came in several different types, but this is the most classic of those types. And here we're showing that there was 9 different airliners that were shown on the fuselage of the 5600. Here's a box with the parts inside. There's a controller for steering and a cable, which is way too short for anybody to use. It's only about 1 meter, maybe at the most. Should be about 2 or 3 meters. But in any case, here's the instructions. And there's also some secret instructions that I'll show you later. This shows you how to charge up the batteries, how to use all the controls. It's really complete. It's a trifold instruction sheet. SCHUCO Radiant 5600. And there in the back are some contemporary models that you could also buy from SCHUCO. So the box itself holds the plane in by the wheels. It's that little cardboard thingy in the middle that holds the wheels in place so that the airplane doesn't shift around too much. This is the Pan American example, and that's what you want to look for on the original, is the SCHUCO Radiant 5600 made in Western Germany. That lithography is very well done on this plane. Here's the battery compartment. That's the separator for the batteries, a very important piece. We'll look at that later. And that's the gear on the bottom of the fuselage that helps you get the plane going if the batteries don't really get the engine going. We'll look at that later too. So we said there were 9 different versions of this plane. The next one we're going to look at is the Sabena airline. This is from Belgium. Sabena is Belgian's airline, or was Belgian's airline until they went bankrupt. I think they're back in business now. See right there, it says Belgian World Airways or Airlines. The reason I have that is because my wife is Belgian. So it gave me an excuse to get this plane. And there's the original lithography in the bottom. It's a nice example. All these work, by the way. And here's the steering controller. Again, I want to emphasize that that cable is way too short for anybody unless you're like 2 inches tall to use. Because by the time you stand up, you have to put your arms way down to your side to use it. So anyway, you plug it into that little node on the front of the plane. And then you plug it into the steering controller itself. And you can control it, the steering only, from that controller. Just the steering. Now here's an interesting option. Sometimes they came with this, and yet sometimes you had to buy them separately. But this is the SCHUCO 5601 fuel truck. To use it, it will charge up the batteries in the Radiant back in the day, but you had to have a transformer, which I have one, but I have not shown it here. So you plug the transformer into the wall, put the transformer into the back of that fuel truck, and then it would then you plug that into that port right there, which is also for the landing light. You take out the landing light if it's got one in it. There's your battery compartment. Sometimes that little battery separator had a string attached to it. I think the earlier models did not, and later models did. Came with a black, kind of a heavy-duty black string on it. And then anyway, you plug the 5601 into the Radiant right here, and it would charge up the batteries. Let's take a closer look at that 5601. Here you go. They may have come in different logos on them. This one has Shell. And there's where you plug in the transformer. Now let's take apart a Radiant so you can take a look at what's inside. This is pretty amazing because there's no transistors or anything like that. Oh, there's your secret instruction sheet. If you open up a Radiant, you will have this secret instruction sheet inside which shows you how to put the model back together again. So you may buy one of these Radiants, which is great, but you may not find one of those inside because as soon as someone takes one apart, they're going to take those instructions out. They may put them back in, but you may be left without those instructions. But it's very important to know how to put it back together because it shows you how to put the switches in the correct position. So again, here is the Radiant partially apart. You slide off the top of the wings. There's a couple of little screws you got to take out. This is not for the faint of heart. It's tough to restore these. I've done about a dozen of them. Some parts are available, some parts are not. I have a couple spare airplanes that I use for parts. But notice there's just springs and cogs and wheels and gears that drive this thing. It's not electronic, but it's electric. There's your pilots. This one's about ready to be restored, so I've got to take that rust out. There's the pilots. And there's the motor. The motor can come in either a plastic case or a metal case. This is a metal case motor. And those are the springs that drive the propellers. Those are some of the cogs and so on. It's pretty complicated and pretty precise. Those wires are kind of just in there for temporary because I was testing it. So here I'm removing the pin that operates from the switch on the top of the fuselage to put it in automatic mode. We'll talk about that in a moment. So here's a photograph of the gear assembly disassembled. This is the top part of the gear assembly. And then coming up is the bottom part of the gear assembly. Again, this is not for the faint of heart. This is an advanced model for you guys that are restoring cars or airplanes. So here is the motor that's pretty much assembled and ready for action. So now we're going to look at the Radiant Replica, which is produced from 2005 onward. I'm not sure how many they made, but it's about 1,000 of each airline. Only made about 3 airlines, I think. Swissair, Lufthansa, I'm not sure. And here's a photograph on the front of the package of that 5601. Really great graphics on the package. This is a replica, but the replica is very, very similar to the original. Some parts are interchangeable. There's Swissair. And this one happens to be Lufthansa. You can tell it says replica on the bottom of it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's my grandson Killian. And a while back we had another video with Oliver, my other grandson, but now we're going to talk about Killian's airplane here. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Take off the top, there's a certificate and the instructions. Yeah, my grandson Killian was only 3.5 years old at that point, and I guess he was a little bit too young because it says 14 years and older. Oh boy. So here's the copy of that certificate. 1,000 of the Lufthansa types were made, and here are the instructions for the replica. Pretty complete and pretty similar to the originals. Take those out. Take the plastic off. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take a controller out. Take it out. Go ahead, buddy. Take it out. Take the whole thing out. There you go. Give it to your mom. Okay, what else is in there?
What else is in there?
What is that? Give that to your mom. Okay, now carefully you want to remove the plane. You pull it straight up. So here's the controller for the steering mechanism. It's the same, almost the same as the other one, except a little bit more advanced. And again, the wand is way too short, and that's where you plug it in. There we go. Pretty big, huh? Okay, let's put some batteries in. So, Killian, you want to put the batteries in?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so we're going to slide that back. So I'm going to show you how to do this because Killian was a little bit too young to actually put the batteries in. Didn't work out too well. So here you go. You flip the plane over. I would put it on my lap, but I'm doing this for the camera. Slide that thing open, and then take out the battery compartment door, and then you put in the rear D-cell battery, and then you lift up the battery separator. And it's got, on the remote replicas, they all have strings on them, so that helps to keep that separator up. And then you put in the front battery. Put the compartment door back on. And again, I would recommend doing this on your lap because it's much harder trying to hold the airplane and put these things together. They're too precise. They have to be exactly right to get to all fit together. You can see the trouble I'm having there. There it goes, finally. You flip it over and test it out. There it goes. Okay. That's the on-off switch. Okay, now, the most important thing is to take them out, because you know what happens if you leave them in, right? All that acid leaks out and you ruin your model. So I think I've told you in several videos, take those batteries out. You know, sometimes you think I'll just leave it in because I'll use it again in another hour or another day. And you know what? You forget about that, and then the batteries sit in there and they leak. The other day I was working on a Distler Porsche for a client of mine, and the car looked really good on the outside, but the inside was completely rusted because of battery leak.
Thank you, kitty. That's it.
Okay, flip it over.
Gentle. Put it down.
Okay, okay. So push that one forward.
Forward.
This side.
There you go. Okay.
Let me. There you go. First engine start, and then the second engine start.
Engine start.
Now this one's going to go.
Okay, I see. Oh, wow.
And then that one's going to go.
Wow, look at that, see?
Like a real airplane. Okay, is that on? Wait a minute.
Look at me.
Yep. And the close down, and then the adhesive. One by one, they stop.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool, Kitty. Did you see that?
Now start it.
The engine starts up.
Starting up again.
Look at the engine starting. 1, 2. And then the other side. 3. And then watch out, Kitty. It's going to go. So back out. Where's the 4? And 4. Here he goes. Here he goes. Okay. What's going to happen?
We'll see.
Look at the airplane.
So here are the switches on the fuselage. The front one says start, stop, which means on, off. and the rear one goes automatic non-stop. Well, if it's on automatic, automatic means that it goes for taxiing, and it also will start and stop the engines. Non-stop just means it taxis all the time. So next we're going to take a look at the landing light and how you install it. The landing light plugs into the bottom where the fuel truck plugged in. You just kind of screw that in. And if the batteries are installed, it always is on. So take those batteries out at the end of the day. So when we turn on the lights, it's pretty obvious that this light is very bright. At least it is in my eye. So that's up for our review of the SCHUCO Radiant 5600, one of my favorite SCHUCO toys. It's really fantastic. I really suggest you get one if you can afford it. They're really great. The kids love them too. So that's it, folks. Have a great evening, and thanks for tuning into the Tin Meister channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.